And barbed wire and war, hey, that low key be OP. And what's that game? Is it Payday? I think it's Payday, right? Let's get it.
The pirates kept messing with American ships, so George Washington founded the United
Is it Rainbow Six? One of them games.
States Navy to do something about it. Yeah, the United States Navy was founded for the sole reason of hunting pirates. Today we're talking
That makes sense though.
The Barbary Wars. Ladies and gentlemen, it is pretty much
like the police of the seas. You know what I'm saying?
Ongoing internet joke that you do not mess with America's boats, you know, because of Operation Praying Mantis, that time that America decided they were going to sink half of Iran's navy in like 8 hours. And Vietnam and World War II and
Bro, listen, I went to the Bahamas, all right? And there was this boat that they said got sank by the United States. Like, they was gambling on it, and they came through and said, no, you can't have that. Get that out of here.
War I, and the Spanish-American War, and the War of 1812.
Rainbow Six? Brittany, what's good?
I guess if you're...
Oh, we got to show W artwork. Are you in the Discord? Drop it in the Discord. We'll show it after this.
I'm picking up what I'm putting down. I'm trying to tell you, this is the origin story of why you don't mess with America's boats. But first, a word from our sponsor, because this...
Bro, I watched, what was it called? Hey, listen, link in the description. What was that? Infographics? Bruh, listen. Like I said, America, take the tax dollars, dog. Y'all got it.
To go on for over 300
Because when you see what listen.
years. Well, the only navies powerful enough to stop these pirates at the time were the Spanish, the French, and the British. And they all came to the same conclusion that it would be cheaper to pay off the pirates, giving them a yearly tribute to not raid their ships rather than go to war with them. So now those three empires aren't getting their ships raided, which is fine. That's a good thing, I guess. But here's the catch with it that they may or may not have known at the time, but they definitely figured out somewhere along the way. Now the pirates are only raiding all the smaller nations. Okay, it's like Walmart, Target, and Amazon getting together, encouraging shoplifting, knowing that they can shoulder the financial burden.
Oh, is he cooking right now? Is he cooking?
But it puts all the other mom and pop stores out of business, and they become the only ones selling goods. Except instead of retail stores, we're talking about entire nations.
The world is crazy.
It's on for literally hundreds of years, but America is still part of the British Empire, so they fall under their umbrella of protection, so it's never an issue. That is until the American Revolution started on April 19th, 1775, with the shot heard around the world, the Battle of Lexington and Concord, and the famous story of a 78-year-old veteran going out into his front yard and shooting 3 redcoats as they retreated back to Boston, sending the message for all of America that the British Empire should get off of our lawn. Fast forward, 1783, America wins...
I remember that movie. I remember that.
Revolutionary War, officially becoming its own country, and all of America's merchant vessels start flying the old red, white, and blue. And pretty much immediately, 1784, one of America's merchant vessels is captured by Barbary pirates from the country of Morocco. As an act of good faith for a new nation, Spain actually pays off the pirates, gets the American vessel and all of its crew back, returns it to America, and then advises the American government, hey, you guys should start paying these guys off too. That's what all the big nations are doing. At which point
but America's like, hey, listen, it's more to eat over there, okay? We got 3 in our little continent. We got, big Canada. Shout out big Canada. We got United, and we got Mexico. You know what I'm saying? So, listen, if England got to pay for all the Mediterranean, hey. Yo, America is really, that's crazy.
America's minister to France, a guy by the name of Thomas Jefferson, chimes in, and he's like, no, absolutely not. I'm going to go talk to him. Now, obviously, I'm paraphrasing.
Diplomacy is always better, man.
Here, but basically, Thomas Jefferson rolls up, and he's like, hey, don't ever fuck with my boats ever again, or else. At which point, the Sultan of Morocco is like, I'm sorry, who are you? I'm Thomas Jefferson, one of the founding fathers of America. We just kicked the British out of our entire country. We're our own thing now. I'm sorry, you fucking pilgrims did what now? We beat the British in war, and now we are our own country. You mean to tell me that a bunch of colonial farmers with muskets went toe-to-toe...
That's crazy. That's crazy.
...with the largest military on the planet that is so good at war that they can literally wear high-vis red coats the entire time and still win, and you beat them. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm telling you. I mean, yeah, I could probably just leave your boats alone from now on. That historically seems like it's going to be a really good idea. And that is the story of how Morocco came to be the first country to recognize America as its own sovereign nation by signing the Moroccan-American Treaty of Peace and Friendship, which is the...
He said, hey, listen, buddy, we don't want no smoke, all right? We will not do that again. But America, they say, hey, look, now y'all back on your own.
First and longest lasting peace treaty in American history. At which point Thomas Jefferson is like, wow, that actually worked out perfect. I'm going to go to the other 3 Barbary states and tell them the same thing now. But of course, there's going to be a catch with that. You see, there's 4 Barbary states, but Morocco's the only one that's actually...
Barbary. What did I say?
Truly independent, and the other 3 are just subservient branches of the Ottoman Empire. So Thomas Jefferson and John Adams go to talk to the ambassador of Tripoli, and they're like, hey, can all the Ottoman Barbary states leave our boats alone? At which point the ambassador informs them, absolutely not. You see, we're part of the Ottoman Empire. We don't need to listen to you. We're not scared of you guys. And it is our official stance that, and I quote, it was written in the Quran that all nations which had not acknowledged the prophet were sinners, who it was the right and duty of the faithful to plunder and enslave. You know, unless they give us money, of course. Everything's got a price, apparently. So Thomas Jefferson is like, well, okay, we're going to war then. And that's when John Adams is like, whoa, 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 calm down. Let's just pay the tribute so that our ships can be fine. We already disbanded the Continental Navy after winning...
Yo, this is crazy, bruh.
The Revolutionary War. We don't have a navy to fight these guys. We just have to give them the money.
See, people be like, you know, history in school can only do so much, okay? You get like the bare crumbs at the top, all right? But you dig a little bit deeper, and it's always way different than what you thought.
So that's what happened. For the next 8 to 10 years, America would pay tribute every year to these 3 remaining Barbary states, and every year they wanted more and more money, and eventually even that wasn't enough, because Algiers began attacking American vessels anyways. Okay, if you're not picking up what I'm putting down, I'm trying to tell you that for the first time in American history, somebody has
maybe we shouldn't mess with them. Facts.
Fucked with one of America's boats, and they're not immediately sorry about it. Yet. The president at the time, George Washington, goes to Congress and pretty much tells them what's going to happen, because at this point in time, George Washington is basically the king of America. Nobody actually knows if he's going to step down from presidency or not. So he's like, hey, guess what? You guys are going to pass the Naval Act of 1794, establishing the United States Navy. And at the very top of that document, it very clearly states that the purpose we are building the United States Navy is so that we can combat Algerine corsairs, which is just a fancy word for state-funded pirates. Yes, I'm telling you.
Yo, them boys was they said like there's things in the Constitution that govern like space travel. Listen, I don't know how true that is. Y'all can let me know. But hey, they was cooking. That document, they was cooking.
You that the founding document of the most powerful navy the world has ever seen at the top specifically states the sole reason for their creation is to hunt.
Yeah, we could watch it. If it's a wrestling movie, we probably won't watch it on stream. We might watch it in Discord though.
Down and destroy pirates that had the audacity to fuck with one of America's ships. We've officially entered the find out portion of the story. America immediately commissions the building of 6 enormous frigates covered in guns to go fight these pirates.
Yeah, listen. Once the United States puts some money behind it, they're gonna get cooking.
When the frigates are done, it takes a couple years. It is now 1798, and George.
Buddy said, "Hey, yo, get us a navy. Bet let's lock in."
Washington has decided to step down from power, allowing for an election to happen, and we are now into the second president of America, John Adams. And John Adams decides he would rather.
It's not a movie; it's a YouTube video talking about a true story. Oh,
America
behind the movie, best
the
in
Navy
that.
Spent $1 million creating all these frigates, and now John Adams isn't going to use them for their intended purpose. Obviously, a lot of people are upset, including his own vice president, Thomas Jefferson. So Thomas Jefferson, the vice president,
was ready to get active. All right, he was trying to get active
at the time, immediately begins campaigning to run against the sitting president in the next election. And one of his biggest platforms is that he is going to go fight these pirates rather than pay them tribute. And his slogan for this is, and I quote,
hold up, so he's the reason. Hold up.
Fight these pirates rather than pay them tribute. And his slogan for this is, and
did anybody in George Washington's second term, did they vote?
I quote,
they did, right? They did.
Millions in defense before a cent in tribute. Okay, just so we're clear, Thomas.
Because for your vice president to break off and say, yo, listen, get this guy, get this number one up out of here. All right. That's got to be crazy.
Jefferson's platform for running for president is, I'm going to spend millions of dollars in defense, which might as well be hundreds of billions of dollars at that point, because America no longer negotiates with terrorists, and I'm pretty sure my high school English teacher would refer to this as foreshadowing. So Thomas Jefferson wins
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
the election. The entire world finds out that he's going to be the third president of the United States of America.
Oh, imagine losing to your number 2, boy. I know you're heated. I know you heated.
And then on March 4th, 1801, the day of his inauguration, he receives a letter from Yusuf Karmanali, the Pasha of Tripoli. If you don't know, Pasha is like the dictator, the king, the president, the main dude
Let's see if he gonna cop please. Like, hey, listen, I know what you're planning to do. We don't want no smoke.
in charge. And at this point, Thomas Jefferson, the guy who just ran an entire presidential campaign on, I'm gonna go fight pirates, is thinking in his head, like, maybe this guy found out that I'm about to send a navy over there to beat him up, and he's gonna send an apology. Maybe he wants to sign a peace treaty like Morocco did.
Stands on business.
This is already working out great. I might not even have to send my navy over there. He opens the letter, and Pasha Yusuf Karmanali has decided that he is going to poke the Pilgrim King because he is now demanding that because of the new administration, the United States owes him an extra $225,000 in tribute. And Thomas Jefferson
What is tribute? They just extorting out here?
is pissed.
What are you trying to get crazy with? Don't you know I'm local?
Originally, Thomas Jefferson was going to have to go to Congress, get permission to activate the Navy to send him over there to fight these pirates, but not now. He's so mad, we're activating the Rainbow Shortcut to ass-whooping land, and
Yo, Candyland was a banger.
Pasha Yusuf is going to have some consequences immediately because he's sending the Navy
Shoots and ladders. Fire.
today. But like I said, it takes a literal act of Congress to send the U.S. Navy over there on a military mission, so Thomas Jefferson is like, that's fine, we just won't send them on a military mission. Fill up one of our frigates with a bunch of gifts and peace offerings for Pasha Yusuf, and then give it a nice healthy escort of other frigates to defend it, and send them on their merry way to deliver the gifts. Right after he gives the commander of the United States Navy
Oh, them boys, they was loading up. They was about to get active.
the standing order that he is also to defend any American citizen or ship from any potential aggression. Not aggression, potential aggression. If he thinks
Oh, he said he got one more wave. And we blitzing, all right?
that somebody else might be thinking about doing something aggressive,
Take them out, take them down, do your stuff.
so the Navy sets sail. They're gone. They're en route. Thomas Jefferson
Like, that's the thing about boats. Even planes, too, all right? It's like, how do you send a signal to be like, hey, I'm coming in peace. I'm trying to figure this out.
sitting in his office, and he comes to the realization, man, I'm pretty sure these pirates are going to attack him, but if they don't, they're actually going to end up giving Pasha What's-His-Nuts a bunch of these gifts, and I can't have it. So he whips out the old quill and parchment, and he writes a letter back and sends that off. And that
One of my friends was in the Navy. He told a story about being out at the sea. Boy, listen,
letter basically reads,
I wouldn't survive, okay? I wouldn't.
hey, America's done giving you tribute for the rest of forever. F off. And obviously the letter makes it there first, at which point Pasha goes to the American consulate building and chops down the flagpole with the American flag on it, which in that part of the world is how you declare war. So the U.S.
wow.
Navy shows up off the coast of the Barbary States. The pirates attack them because they've already declared war. The
Hold up, what?
flagpole with the American, at which point Pasha goes to the
Hold up.
forever. F off. And obviously the letter makes it there first, at which point Pasha goes to the American consulate building and chops down the flagpole with the American flag on it, which in that part of the
Is that still the way it goes though? Because imagine like all the embassy buildings, or imagine like the airport. They like when you drive up to the airport, you pass all the flags on the international side. If somebody like cuts one of those down, what if that, you know what I'm saying?
the
Hey,
world
yo, listen.
is how you declare war. So the U.S. Navy shows up off the coast of the Barbary
Because of course it's on the coast. Because how they was traveling back then was boats. Now it's plane to the car. You know what I'm saying?
States. The pirates attack them because they've already declared war. The U.S. Navy defends.
Imagine like you like a diplomat. You coming down into a country. You look over and your flag's going. You're done.
themselves. Word gets back to America. Congress then is like, oh, hey, we're at war. We're going to go ahead and give Thomas Jefferson permission to use the United States Marine Corps at his discretion. And this is why, to this day, the United States Marine Corps is the only branch of the U.S. military that can be sent and deployed anywhere in the world without congressional approval. So for the next 2 years, the U.S. Navy and the Marine Corps set up a naval blockade and just go on a pirate hunting extravaganza until October of 1803, when the USS Philadelphia would get hung up on an uncharted reef right off the coast of Tripoli. The pirates seize this opportunity, they attack the USS Philadelphia, board it, take the crew hostage, and then over the next couple months they were able to repair it enough to get it back into the harbor at Tripoli, where they then anchored it in place and used it as fixed artillery because it had way—
That's crazy. They say, yo, we abandoning this one. Whoever was on that was going down with the ship or winning. Okay.
More guns than any other vessel they had. Cue our first main character, Stephen Decatur, the commander of the USS Enterprise, America's unofficial flagship. He decides that he's going to don his plot—
Hold up, is Decatur in America named after him? We might, hold on.
Armor, take the USS Enterprise out and acquire himself a pirate ship, which he does. He then takes that pirate ship and the USS Enterprise and sails both of them to Sicily, where he hires 5 Sicilian mercenaries that know how to speak Arabic. They then sail back to Tripoli.
Nah, that's crazy.
Where Decatur and 80 Marines are going to go below deck of this pirate ship, which is now been—
Yo, this is a Call of Duty match, bruh.
Christened the
In the real, yo, nope. See me?
USS Intrepid, as the 5 mercenaries are going to sail directly into the heart of the harbor, pretending to be Barbary pirates. They then go directly to the USS Philadelphia. 80 Marines and Stephen Decatur run out, kill the entire crew of pirates that are on the USS
Yo, this is low. No.
Philadelphia and reclaim it. Unfortunately, the USS Philadelphia is
Vinland Saga? Facts.
too damaged to actually be used as a ship ever again, at which point Stephen Decatur decides, fine, we're just going to burn the entire thing to the ground, because if we can't have it, nobody can. Deprive the enemy of nice things. I'm pretty sure Sun Tzu said that. So that's exactly what they do. They light the USS Philadelphia on fire, they're positive it can't be put out, and then they bounce. Not a single American is injured, and Stephen—
Yo, that's crazy. Spin up on a block, throw away your best vehicle, and everybody still make it out? Come on, bro.
Decatur is hailed a hero because he is now led
In a boat, not a car, a boat.
is, in my opinion, America's first special operations mission. So now that that's taken care of, the problem at hand is that the crew of the USS Philadelphia is still being held hostage by the Barbary pirates, and they want a ton of money in exchange for them back. However, America no longer negotiates with terrorists, and that's not an option. Cue our next 2 main characters, William Eaton and Presley O'Bannon. And before you ask, yes, Presley O'Bannon, as in the USS O'Bannon, the Fletcher-class destroyer from World War II that sank a Japanese submarine with potatoes. So they go in and they pitch their idea of how they're going to get the
With potatoes?
crew of the USS Philadelphia back, and it is, by every definition, a special operations mission. Basically, they want to take themselves 2 dudes plus 6 Marines for a total of 8 guys, and they're going to get dropped off in Egypt, because in Egypt is Yusuf Karmali's brother that is living in exile because Yusuf kicked him out because he—
Bro, imagine the reason you get cooked is because your brother you decided to throw to the wolves becomes him. All right? You're done.
is technically the rightful heir of Tripoli. So they're going to— because Yusuf kicked him out because he is technically the rightful heir of Tripoli.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
So they're going to get that guy and all the buddies that are loyal to him, like 500 men, and then they're going to march them through the desert to Derna, where they are then going to use them to fight and take over the city. And
See, this is what happens when you can't, this family, what Dominique Toretto say? It's about family, you know what I'm saying? That's a fact, okay?
exchange this—
Because once you kick listen, it's no holds bar. Your biggest friend is always going to be the potential for your biggest enemy.
city
He kicked them out. When it linked up with the ops, they're done.
for the crew of the USS Philadelphia. And upon hearing this ridiculous plan,
They about to know everything y'all got going on. This is such and such. They got the whole drop on you.
U.S. military leadership is like, whoa. You want to take a small contingency of men, be dropped off in a foreign country, meet up with a rebel leader who already has a bunch of men, and then convince him that you're going to help him overthrow a current dictator, and then he can be the new dictator. And basically, we're using other people to fight other people that we don't like to benefit us. And Presley O'Bannon and Eaton are like, yeah, that's pretty much exactly it. And the government is like, this is a terrific idea. I mean, we're probably never, ever going to
Yo, son, this is insane.
do anything like this ever again. And we're not going to have an entire branch of special forces that specializes in it. Sorry, anyways, that's exactly what they do. They get dropped off in Egypt. They track down Hamet. They're like, hey, you want to go overthrow your brother? Cool, grab your guys, let's go. Somewhere along the way, the Marines also picked up 50 Greek mercenaries as they...
Yo, they just tagging people on. Hey, look, the brother about to have them fumbling, okay?
all began marching 500 miles through the Libyan desert to get back to the Tripolitan coast. And this march through the desert takes 50 days, and it is a complete shit show because somewhere along the way, they start running low on supplies, and they have to start rationing. And then some people get mad. There's accusations because the Greek guys are Christian, Hamet's guys are Muslims. There's fighting amongst themselves.
Bro, they don't care about none of that. They going in there to wild out.
And there's these...
Except when it comes down to the food.
8 Marines standing...
That's the one thing that can turn any two people against each other. Is the last bite to eat. Boy, listen. Like, because it's like instant relief eating, right?
In the middle,
the only reason I think people could give up their last like sip of water, because like it's gonna be a while you can go before you're like, ah. But food, that instant regeneration, come on now.
Desperately trying to keep them from killing each other as they march through the desert. So despite multiple mutiny attempts and a ton of fights, the Marines were able to keep this group together.
Bro, and they already are from different countries. Listen, somebody take the last Popeye's biscuit, you're done. All right, I need those.
Enough to make it through the Libyan desert till they arrived at the coastal city of Bamba. Once they get there, they meet up with the USS Argus that gives them a bunch of supplies so they can start eating food again, and they give enough money to pay off the Greek mercenaries. Then Eaton decides that he's going to send a letter over to the governor of Derna right next door, because remember, we can't attack unless they're potentially aggressive.
Facts,
okay, so
facts.
he sends a letter and is basically like, hey,
me and
I'm
my
going
bro
to
have a
march my army
WWE
through
match
the middle
for the
of your
last
town
slice
to go
pizza.
kill...
Bro, listen, I'm not going to lie. You gotta weigh out your options. You get 2 large pizzas for the crib, okay? It's time to eat. You eat, you put some in the refrigerator. Now, you got to bet on other people not being greedy. Unless you're greedy, then you're going to look for them. But I'm not a greedy person. I'm like, I'll leave some for... So if there's like 4 slices left, you ain't got to wake up in the middle of the night and go get that. All right. If you know you the first one to wake in the morning, you ain't gotta go get that at midnight. But if there's like 2 slices left and somebody stay up later than you or work, you might have to make a trip and get one of those and be out.
Kill your boss on my way to Tripoli.
Because if I'm going, nothing's more disappointing than going to eat and ain't no food, bruh. You're done.
Can I have some safe passage and maybe
food that you expected to be there?
Some food. The governor of Derna sends a letter back that says, my head or yours, which sounds potentially aggressive enough. So they begin making the plan for the ground attack. Hamet and his men are going to take the governor's palace, and the Marines and the Greek mercenaries are going to take out the harbor fortress. But to do that, they're going to need a cannon from the USS Argus, so they're going to meet up with it, go get this cannon, and prepare for their attack. Cut back to Stephen Decatur. While all this has been happening, there's still been a naval battle in the Mediterranean the entire time, and Stephen Decatur is on an absolute rampage, because after he captured...
Yo, my man getting... King Slayer is crazy. That is insane.
his first pirate ship, he would receive word that his brother, James Decatur, had been mortally wounded by one of the pirate ship's captains, who was pretending to surrender before shooting his younger brother.
Oh, he's not letting no licks back. Okay, he's unloading everything.
Upon hearing this, Decatur immediately gives command of the new captured vessel to one of his men, leaves a couple guys with him, and takes off to track down this pirate ship that just killed his brother.
That's
so
crazy.
They chase down this pirate ship, they pull up right next to it, and before the crew has time to do any boarding procedures, you know, like break out the planks, tie some ropes to the other ship, all that stuff you see in the movies. Nah, Stephen Decatur jumps into the enemy ship and starts killing pirates immediately.
Boy, getting active, all right? Y'all shouldn't have played with him. He is not one of them, all right?
9 Marines, seeing that happen, are like, oh shit, we're doing this. So they jump onto the pirate ship too.
Bro, I told you, this Vinland Saga, bro. When Thor's jumped onto the boat, Started minking everybody up. Everybody back there just watching like these. Come on, bruh.
Start throwing down, at which point the pirate ship veers off and breaks away from Decatur's ship. It is now 9 Marines and Stephen Decatur versus over 30 pirates on this vessel, and 30 is not going to be enough. Stephen Decatur kills multiple pirates, including the captain that had slain his brother, officially
Yo, with the sword, bruh.
avenging his brother's death, capturing that vessel as well.
Boys was really out there working.
But he is still absolutely furious that his brother died, and he continues to go on a rampage, capturing another pirate ship and destroying 3 more over the coming weeks. Cut back to the men on the ground. Eaton and O'Bannon have been getting their battle plan ready this entire time. They just had their men go get a cannon off the USS Argus because they really need this cannon if they're going to be able to pull off this mission. So they're ready to attack. The U.S. Navy gets into formation, and they are going to bombard the entire city of Derna while they launch this attack. Despite that, there's over 2,000 men loyal to Pasha Yusuf that are going to defend it. And
It's wraps. It's over with.
they are heavily outnumbered. So Navy starts bombarding the shore.
Decatur, that boy said, look, you slayed my brother. There's nothing I can save you now.
Met and his men take off to go attack the governor's palace, and Eaton, O'Bannon, the Marines, and the Greek mercenaries begin launching their attack on the harbor fortress. They open up with the initial cannon fire, which is going to be vital to be able to break through the enemy lines and establish their foothold. They fire the cannon. As they go to reload and fire it again, they realize that they had accidentally forgot to take the ramrod out of the cannon and shot that at the enemy too. Now the cannon's completely out, and they're kind of like, oh shit, what do we do? What do we do? And Presley O'Bannon just charges into battle.
Yo, this look like, I'm telling you, bro, this is Call of Duty, bro. This is crazy.
As the other Marines follow behind him and the Greek mercenaries behind.
Bro, you got people on Epona over here. Shout out my Zelda people. You got people running through with bayonets with the joint on the front. Then you got people of the people that are from there. His brother spin back with his loyal get back clan. You're done, bro. You're getting finished.
Behind them. They attack so quickly and so violently that they're able to overrun the entire enemy fortress before anybody really knows what's going on. And Presley O'Bannon becomes the first American ever to raise the Star-Spangled Banner over a foreign battlefield. This battle.
Yo, another country come to your country and start emoting, you're done. You're done.
The taking of the Tripolitan coastal city of Derna.
Buddy started playing his emote song.
Is enshrined in Marine Corps history in the Marine Corps hymn with
Vortex
the line
was
from
good.
the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. And it is also where the Marine Corps would get their first nickname ever, because the 7 Marines present for this battle fought so hard and so violently that they simply became known as the Leathernecks, referring to the leather collar that they wore around their neck to protect it from slashes from pirate soldiers.
See, them boys was thinking.
So Yusuf's men end up getting beaten back and are forced to retreat to Tripoli, at which point the Marines, the Greeks, and Hamet and his men all consolidate, figure out what happened. Hamet and his men were able to take over the governor's palace, and after the taking of the city of Derna, Hamet awards his very own sword to Presley O'Bannon as a gift for how valiantly
Bro, listen, do I want to get into swords, bro? I don't know.
he fought in battle. And this is the Mameluke sword, the same sword
That's
that
crazy.
is on the Marine Corps uniform today. So now Yusuf consolidates his military.
That boy was impact, all right? Impact player.
He sends an enormous army back to Derna to try to take it back over, and they're kind of just sitting on the outskirts of the city, waiting for the right moment to attack. Eaton and O'Bannon are writing correspondence to the U.S. military in the chain of command like, hey, we took this entire city with like 8 Marines, give us some reinforcements, we're gonna go take Tripoli next, and then we'll just overthrow this entire country. This goes on for over a month, and they defend the city multiple times from attacks from Yusuf's men, and eventually Eaton receives a letter informing him that he is to stand down and just leave, because American diplomat Tobias Locke has struck up a deal with Yusuf Karmanali. And apparently he struck up
Said what the final kill cam looked like is crazy.
this deal with absolutely nobody's permission, because the deal is America is going to pay Yusuf Karmanali, the pirate king, $60,000, and in exchange we are going to receive the USS Philadelphia back, as well as a peace treaty that they
That's
are going to
crazy.
leave American ships alone.
Hold up, didn't they burn the Philadelphia? So you're going to have to pay me for my thing you made me lose by coming over here. All right.
From now on. So yeah, everybody's pretty pissed off about it, from Thomas Jefferson, Presley O'Bannon, William Eaton, Stephen Decatur. They're all furious that we are now giving $60,000 to this pirate king, as opposed to overthrowing his entire city of Tripoli, or at a minimum using the fact that they're holding Derna and use that as leverage to exchange. But whatever, the war's over, I guess. For now. So the peace treaties were signed in 1805. Now, fast forward 7 years,
All right, who broke the treaty, bro? Who did it?
1812. The War of 1812 happens. Okay, if you don't know, the War of 1812, there's more to it than this, but the reason that it started is that Great Britain wanted to have more control over the seas and trade because America was getting too much, because America was no longer getting attacked by pirates because we just beat them in a war now too. So Great Britain launches another war against America. During this war, they encourage the Barbary pirates to start attacking American vessels again. And honestly, it works out pretty good for the pirates, at least for a little while, because the American Navy is too busy to worry about them because their hands are full with the British Navy.
But all it takes is then one person to get free, show them who boss again. Now everybody on your back. You're done.
Fast forward 2 years, 8 months later, the War of 1812 ends. Now, luckily for the Barbary pirates, Thomas Jefferson is no longer president at this point.
And if they win, after they come in, what was all that y'all was doing when I was preoccupied? All right, what was all that about?
We are on to America's fourth president. Let me check my notes here. James Madison. If you don't know, James Madison is one half of what is referred to as the Forefathers dynamic duo, and the other half is his best friend of all time.
Okay.
Thomas Jefferson.
Of course. He said, "Hey, buddy, look, I'm about to pick up right where you left off. All right, we about to get active."
And I don't know if you figured this out yet at this point in the story, but Thomas Jefferson hates pirates. So sitting president James Madison, being the homie that he is, looks over at now Commodore
Jay was good.
Decatur and says,
"Go get him, Tiger."
He then proceeds to assemble the largest U.S. naval fleet ever at this point in time and sails directly to the Barbary coast. He then immediately
Bro, I told you, war ends. That's why, listen, sometimes you just gotta stay out the way. Hey, that's not my fight. I'm gonna stay out of it.
tracks down Algiers.
Because they got it in. They thought, we're gonna get the big guy. And what happened? Cooked.
His flagship, the Mashuda, takes it out, captures over 400 members of its crew, and the ship itself. He then proceeds to take all of his gunboats directly to Algiers, park them in the port, and say, here's the deal. You're going to surrender, and you're never going to collect tribute from anyone ever again, or I'm going to overthrow your entire country. Obviously, they take...
Bro, saying like, yo, you see what I did to you earlier? I really let you go, all right? And y'all wanted to go team up? All right, bet. So this is what it is.
The first option.
Next time, you're done. All right.
At which point Decatur's like, okay, cool. Next order of business. You're also going to pay me back for all the U.S. merchandise that you plundered during the War of 1812. And they're like, okay, here you go. They give it to him. He then proceeds to sail his fleet next door to Tunis and tell them the exact same thing, ordering them to sign a peace treaty, never raid an American vessel again, and then collects a bunch of money.
Bro, them documents, they gonna be cooking. Hey, America got it. Hey, write this down on paper real quick. You sign it? All right, bet. So listen, if anything happens, I want you to know, they out here signing earth waivers, all right? To be in this earth, you better sign a waiver, okay? Because if it go there...
He then sails them next door again to Tripoli and does the exact same thing, collects all this money, gets the peace treaties. The Barbary pirates never mess with America ever again. Decatur and his fleet sail back home, and he tells the government what happened. The American government is blown away at the results that Decatur was able to achieve. When asked how he managed to not only get peace treaties without too much violence, but also get a bunch of money and concessions on top of it, all Decatur said was, peace was achieved through the mouth of our cannons. At which point he was...
That's crazy.
Was given the nickname...
Hey, listen. They was gonna give it up or else. All right?
The conqueror of the Barbary pirates. And with the rest of the world seeing a new country in its infancy stand up for itself against the Barbary pirates and winning, they would start doing it too, and everybody started fighting back and quit paying tribute to the Barbary pirates. And in the coming...
And now they about to bleed you dry, bro. They said, listen, matter of fact, you can't mess with none of the homies no more, okay? You're done.
Years, they would fade into nothing as their 300-year reign of terror had come to an end. So in conclusion,
That's crazy.
the moral of the story is please, for the love of God, do not mess with America's boats. Thank you for watching.
Bro.
Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch over at the Fat Alex.
That's crazy. Listen, I learned about the Navy. I said, look, okay, y'all got it. Y'all got, look, I don't even, the ocean, too much of a scary place for me, okay? I watched Be Amazed, seeing what might be down there. I'm good. I seen Tearzu. Listen, I'm doing just well right here on land. Navy guys, all right, so.
So when the metal hit his mug, he just sunk in place. 100K Holla, chillin' Bahamas. Come home to your crib and throw in your mama.